Take a moment. Is there a paddler you know that you'd follow anywhere? Think about what it is that makes that particular paddler so charismatic and trustworthy that you don't think twice about where they take you on the water. Do you have someone in mind? Good.
Even though this rock helps.
Our responsibility as river leaders is to bring paddlers back both physically and mentally from every river experience. The physical part is kind of a no-brainer. If we're even remotely competent, we're going to bring people back to the takeout at the end of the day. It's the mental part that's a little tricky. Listen closely. The leaders facilitating a positive experience that's yielding no matter what challenges are faced on the water, and that begins before we even start our day. As you keep your river wizard in mind, consider these following points before stepping into a leadership role on your next paddling trip. Establish a common goal. Talk with group members individually before arriving at the river, and connect everyone as a group before putting on. Unite the group around a common thread, and revisit this goal throughout the day as the goal may shift or change altogether.
Before we actually get on the water. Awesome. Good to have you guys with us today.
Good,
Looking
thanks.
forward to it.
Recognize that communication has a timeline, before, during, and even after the river experience. Connect with paddlers beforehand, both to vet their experiences and qualify your own. Maintain positive and affirmative language while on the river, and follow up with paddlers after the fact. Consider your choice of words when addressing hazards and swims. Try to point positive with your language. Consider the following approaches.
You can go right down the middle. I think you could go left. And I think you could go right. Either way, there's going to be a big pool down on river right. You can see it down there, the pool on the river right side. I remember going every way and going, man, that's all shitty. Center's good. That's the only spot you really got to worry about is on the far river right. All this stuff down here is super good to go. What I like to do is drive out, move the little rock in the middle, and drive into the eddy behind the big rock to bring it apart. If you keep going straight downstream, middle channel, over a nice 4 or 5 booth ledge.
Going hand in hand with establishing a common goal, be clear about the plan for the day, expectations for safety and behavior, and procedure for incident management. When a group knows itself very well and paddlers are familiar with one another, this is often unspoken. New groups, however, can benefit from explicit discussion about what can be expected from the day so that individuals don't feel like the weak link. Letting paddlers know that shore scouting or portaging is not an option on today's river is probably not appropriate to do at the put-in. Likewise, transparency in the demands of the day, requisites for skills and equipment, and expectations for group demeanor should be approached as essential to setting paddlers up for quality experiences and success with little surprise. Do you find yourself often in a leadership role on a particular stretch of river? Get out there with your best paddling mates and work the river from every possible angle, in your boat, swimming, wading, and portaging. Catch eddies in the middle of key rapids and consider how you might get to someone quickly and effectively in the worst case scenario. Look, if all hell were to break loose on the river, how comfortable are you using every square inch of that river space to do what needs to be done? Are you comfortable putting yourself in harm's way for somebody else? How about walking on the riverbed, catching an eddy in a difficult rapid or above a consequential area? Take time to observe and study both the river and those who paddle it. This will greatly improve your foresight and ability to anticipate, but it comes with time and practice. Sit in an eddy above a challenging rapid and observe the energy, habits, and tendencies of paddlers and how it might relate to their performance downstream.
Just downstream of that, there's a hole. It's pretty grabby. So whatever you do, keep your speed up.
Study how water reacts with rock and the dynamics created by various features. Those demonstrating that aforementioned comfort and prowess will be using it to execute important foresight and anticipation to keep group members safe and having fun. Does your river wizard seem to always be in the right place at the right time? Does he or she seem to know what's going to happen before it actually does? A good leader will be able to remove focus from himself or herself and take time to observe and evaluate river dynamics, assess risk and hazard, and stage him or herself and group members accordingly. Assessing and allocating your resources is made possible by doing homework on the front end. This means you have a keen understanding of your environment, as well as a clear familiarity of your group's skills. It is here when you're comfort communicating proactively to delegate, as well as anticipate places for action, is key. Consider that resources come in many forms: people, skills, time, energy, and equipment. The river leader may have access to paddlers with top-notch skills, but if it's getting late in the day or group energy is waning, these diminishing resources can start to affect one another negatively. Establishing a common goal, communicating effectively, and managing group expectations are what help to set the tone for the river day, from the weeks and days leading up to the trip to just getting ready to launch. These strategies involve the whole group, both at an individual and community level, while the subsequent points shift the responsibility back onto you through adequate personal skill, body of knowledge, and resource assessment and delegation. Know that while leading a group of paddlers downstream should not be taken lightly, it can be one of the most rewarding and gratifying parts of kayaking beyond your own personal achievements. Quality leadership is subjective, and you might find yourself adjusting your approach from group to group or even moment to moment within that same group on the same day. That's okay. If you can keep your group safe, having fun, and excited to come back to the river, you're well on your way to becoming somebody else's river wizard. How does that feel?